hao, hello everyone, my name is Cecilia, and today I'm going to be pitching you on a product that is about to find its perfect home in China's booming e-commerce market. So the product is Brodo. Well, the brand is Brodo. This is a premium organic guava and ginger jam that is handcrafted in Mexico. The global jam market is growing, but it's flooded all over with generic sugary spreads, and there is a critical gap in the market for what I call conscious luxury, a product that is artisanal and ethical, and the brand Brodo fills that gap perfectly. Here is why our exotic guava ginger flavor profile is completely unique to China's palate. Beyond taste, every jar of Brodo funds the Brodo Family Initiative, a social program that provides farming communities with education, women's rights education as well, ecology education, arts and computing even. For the modern Chinese consumer, Brodo is not just a premium spread, it's a transparent, ethical connection to a community that tries to grow together, you know? So why China? Well, my strategic selection is actually data-driven. China is the #1 country in the world generating revenue from jams, with the highest projected market growth according to Statista 2025. Rising disposable incomes mean millions of Chinese consumers are now willing to pay a premium price for health-conscious imports. That is exactly our window. Now for the advanced cage analysis, and more importantly, the so what factor for strategy. First off, culturally, both Mexico and China are collectivist societies that respect hierarchy. It's actually a bridge for Brodo's community empowerment story. However, the Chinese consumers are highly future-oriented and pragmatic, unlike Mexico's more immediate gratification culture. So what does that mean? We must market Brodo not as an indulgence, but as a long-term investment in health and social impact. Administratively, there is no free trade agreement between Mexico and China, and Mexico recently imposed tariffs of up to 50% on Chinese goods, which risk retaliation. But what about this? Well, we must enter fast, certify strongly, and position ourselves as authentically Mexican. Geographically, we are 14,000 kilometers apart. The fastest sea route is Shanghai to Manzanillo, which takes 22 to 28 states, well within our jam's 1 year shelf life. But this means that maritime shipping is an option. Economically, China's e-commerce penetration is 47%, triple Mexico's, which means that our entry strategy must be digital first, specifically through platforms like Tmall Global, which is really famous in China. And the market opportunity right now is that Chinese millennials and Gen Z are actively searching for imported artisanal products with verified social impact, and Brodo is built for exactly this type of consumer. On tariff barriers now, since Mexico and China have no free trade agreement, we face a 30% most favored nation import tariff, plus a 13% VAT on processed food imports. That's a 43% tax load we must factor into our pricing. On non-tariff barriers, we found out that there are 3 critical ones. First, GACC registration, which is that every foreign food manufacturer must register on China's CIFER platform as of June of 2026. This process is more digital but demands full traceability. Second, labeling under norm GV7718, our label must be in simplified Mandarin Chinese, and the new 2025-2026 rules require a visible warning about our gems added sugar content of 31.6 grams. One translation error can get an entire shipment rejected. Third, we need a Sensanica phytotransformatory export certificate from Mexico and a certificate of free commercial sale. Now for promotion programs, I selected the SRE export promotion model that the Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores. After Pro Mexico was dissolved, the SRE became the key government tool for Mexican SMEs entering complex markets like China. Through this program, Mexico's embassy in Beijing and consulate in Shanghai can connect us directly with buyers on Tmall Global, facilitate access to the CIIE, the China International Import Expo in Shanghai, and verify that our Chinese partners are legitimate. To apply, we register in the SRE's exporter directory, request a market intelligence report for the premium food spreads sector, and schedule a virtual business agenda. There is also a local incentive in China, the Shanghai Free Trade Zones encouraged industry catalog, updated in February of this year, which offers a reducted 15% corporate income tax for foreign brands with certified social impact, which is Brodo. And finally, closing this deal will require understanding the human side of business. So here are 5 essential rules for doing business in China. The rule number 1 is that business relationships in China are not transactional. You must invest in sincere personal connections first before any formal deals are discussed, okay? Now for the rule number 2, you must never correct or embarrass a partner in public. Use indirect communication, always protect the reputation, and so off. Third rule is that you must always respect hierarchy. China's business culture is deeply Confucian. Decisions are made at the top, always. Acknowledge seniority in stating introductions and gift giving. Fourth rule is that you must adopt high context communication. A yes often means I understand and not I agree, for example. So you must read between the lines. Be patient and not confrontational in negotiations. The fifth rule is that you must commit to long term. Chinese partners will test your commitment through multiple meetings and banquets before signing. Do not expect a quick deal. The most significant social gap between Mexico and China, I found out that it's kind of the time and decision making. Mexico's culture is polychromic and flexible, which means that meetings flow naturally. In China's modern corporate culture is rigorous, punctual, and hierarchical. Where a Mexican entrepreneur might finalize a deal over coffee, a Chinese partner might require months of relationship building first. So, with this, we know that Brodo is more than jam. It's a story of community, flavor, and purpose, crafted in Mexico and ready for China and for the world. Every jar grows something, okay? Thank you.